So tell me, who is Dave Rokos?
Dave Rokos is a musician from Downers Grove, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. I've lived in the city, I've lived in the suburbs. I sing kind of like singer-songwriter-y pop punk songs. Okay. So I'm in a band that plays pop punk, but the solo stuff is a little more singer-songwriter-y, but it's still big choruses, big hooks, and things like that.
What did you set out that you wanted to do, especially with this album?
So I just gone through a breakup of a 10-year relationship. Wow. So I was, all of a sudden I was living at my mom's for the first time in 6 or 7 years. I had moved back in with my mom because I had to move out of my apartment with my girlfriend. So I was there and I was just like completely lost, and I wanted to, yeah. So it was a big deal to me. So I always wanted to make a solo album. I needed a project. I wanted something to take my mind off things and just kind of have an end goal. And with the band, I write half the songs and the guitar player writes half the songs. So there's really no way to get like a concept to it. And it moves at a snail's pace because it's just a product of getting the three of us together. When we play shows, we usually play the songs we know. It's kind of like that. We have like a little bit of a repertoire. So
a little bit of a transition going from like a band to like a completely solo.
Yeah, so I wanted to have complete control over it, right. And I just started writing songs in a pace that I hadn't written songs probably since high school or college at the latest, yeah. I love big poppy stuff, and if I have my complete way, part of it's out of insecurity of my voice or whatever, and part of it's just out of liking poppy stuff, I'll make everything super perfect, like real produced. So the biggest difference was, I wrote the songs pretty quick. I wrote the 8 songs. I wrote probably about 15 songs for the album, and I recorded 8 of them. And I wrote the 8 of them probably in about 2 months, which is really fast for me. I wrote about half of them living at my mom's and half of them living with my buddy in Lombard when I moved in with him. But then going in and demoing the songs and writing all the guitar leads, writing the different guitar parts, trying to make it more interesting. That was definitely that was a challenge for me, but it was really fun. I really liked doing it, yeah.
You know, when we bring up great singer-songwriters or just bands from the 90s, like I heard a lot of Gin Blossoms, just
definitely.
Like straight pop that was like so beautiful back in the day. Were you trying to incorporate that into the 8 songs that you did there?
Definitely, especially comparing it to the band I love big poppy stuff, and if I have my complete way, part of it's out of insecurity of my voice or whatever, and part of it's just out of liking poppy stuff, I'll make everything super perfect, like real produced. And then Sam, the other guitar player, is much more aggressive, much more likes raw stuff, which makes sense because that's the kind of music we listen to. I mean, like, but since I had kind of my own way, I was able to go super poppy with it. Like everything on the album is double tracked. There's like 7, 8 guitars in a lot of the parts. There's huge harmonies and everything. So I was able to really just go wild with it,
very layered,
which I think was a cool contrast to the lyrical content of it, because the whole record's kind of a downer lyrically, but initially I was just writing it just because I wanted to do it. It was something to do, and I was doing it. I had these things to say, and I mostly wrote the lyrics just like in notes on my phone when I was like on the train or going places. Then putting it all together, it really wasn't until, because I kind of had this thought that no one was going to listen to it anyways. But then, I mean, I think this is a big benefit to some of my friends and to my girlfriend. I was able to put together a pretty good build up to it, like on social media and things like that with updates and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I was able to get enough buzz or whatever that more people listened to it than I thought they would. It certainly wasn't like giant, but like a lot more people listened to it than I thought it would. Yeah, so I think from here on out, I'd probably try to do as much from home as I can. I think, and getting better at it. I think whether you're making a movie or any sort of art, the little things that people might not notice are what separate good art from great art. So I made the album in a real recording studio with Rueben Baird at Chicago Sound Lab, but I demoed everything ahead of time on my own system, and that saved tons of money because I didn't have to. So I figured out all the guitar parts and everything ahead of time. So I went through and demoed every song, wrote all the harmonies, wrote all the guitar parts. So then when I went to the studio, I had everything mapped out, so I could do things as quick as possible because you're paying for it. To demo it, it took me, I took 2 days off work and weekends. It probably took me like 12 full days between weekends and stuff to demo everything. I mean, that's really only 7 songs, because the last song's just a vocal and acoustic guitar.
Was it therapeutic you know, having like the positive reinforcement from like your friends and coworkers, things like that, when you put out something like truly for you, a real good sense of that.
It was. I think it helped as a little bit of an explanation as to why the way I was for a little bit. Like I was a downer and kind of a baby for a little bit.
A baby?
Or I was just kind of whiny and stuff, and I like was for a while. So I think it helped explain that a little bit, but I also think it just turned it into something positive. So like I think like I'm super proud of it, and I think it's the best thing I've ever done for sure.
There's like an old adage that I've heard through songwriters where storytellers never die.
Mm-hmm.
Did you consciously make that decision?
Definitely. I definitely want to tell stories. I also, little things that I think whether you're making a movie or any sort of art, the little things that people might not notice are what separate good art from great art. And I'm not saying the record's great art, but I at least put, whether it came across and whether it worked is up to people who listen to it. But I at least put the thought into the little details to hopefully try to make it transcend or be better than good. So like the album itself, if you listen to 8 songs, it tells a story in my head that I'm pretty sure no one would really pick up on. But in my head, there's a sequence to it that tells a story. And so just trying to come up with little details like adding little extra harmonies to different things, or like one of the songs, the first chorus has 1 harmony, the second chorus has 2, the third chorus has 4. So just adding things that I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't necessarily notice, they're really quiet, but just adding them hopefully subconsciously, maybe it makes a difference. But at least I put thought in it, yeah.
There's a distinction between like playing and performing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I always think that you are a performer. Do you try to keep that going through show to show? Does it change as you've been on tour?
It definitely changes depending on the audience, but I definitely keep that in mind. We do that with the band, and we definitely do it solo, especially since solo, it definitely works better with a little bit older audience. The songs work a little better, and the way I put it is I can either be, if I'm playing for college kids and younger kids, I can either be kind of like the least aggressive kind of old boring guy, or I can be like the youngest cool guy in an older crowd.
It's all about
so a crowd of 30, 40-year-olds think that I'm funnier, and if I'm playing to that crowd, I'm like the one that talks a ton and drinks and plays these songs that are fast. Whereas if I play to a younger audience, I'm just like the guy that like complains about his ex-girlfriend, who's kind of old. So yeah, and that's something I really learned and I didn't realize, because when I made the record, I'm like, this seems like it'd be pretty perfect for college kids. But it's not necessarily. So, but it's interesting, and I think there's more of a future in playing to older crowds and stuff, like especially in the sense of just like having a continuous kind of playing shows continuously. But so it definitely depends on the crowd. But I definitely think of the show as a whole. Like I would consider myself a better performer than I am a musician, because it just like, especially since the songs are kind of sad, like just trying to be fun. People talk about like the stage banter more than they talk about the songs a lot, for better or worse.
I was gonna say, are you okay with that?
I am okay, especially live. Like it's hard to tell. It's hard to pick up nuances and so I'm sure they like the music. If they didn't like the music, they would leave.
What's your favorite story to tell on stage?
Favorite story to tell? I definitely have one I'm thinking of that I really like that everyone laughs at. So give me 1 second to think of it.
What do you think?
What? There's one that always gets a really good laugh. I'm gonna have to ask Shelly quick. I'll tell this one. It's pretty funny. So kind of weird timing. So I go in to record this record about 4 months after I'd written the songs, and I meet my current girlfriend. And so the album kind of became something we did together. So like, cause she was there for a lot of the recording, she was there for mastering, she was there for the pictures, she was huge in the release show, she's on the record. And also like her family's been super supportive. They came to the release show, they've been really intricate in listening to it and stuff, they've been really nice. But her mom's favorite song is this song called I'm Sorry I Still Love You, which is about my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's so damn
catchy.
Yeah, but her mom's super into it, so my girlfriend thinks that she's kind of a traitor for liking this song that's all about my ex-girlfriend.
Big deal.
But yeah, so that was pretty funny. I like telling that story. That story usually gets a laugh. So at this point, I'm not gonna not do something, so I'm just like, I should have, because I'd be curious to see how much I actually spent. I don't have as many giant things to say now. I don't have like a giant breakup I'm trying to complain about.
I'm in a good place.
Yeah, so like I want to write some happier songs. So I'd like to do maybe like a split or a 7-inch or something like that. I'd love to do a vinyl if I can get it to be cost effective.
Is there any advice you can give to any aspiring musicians about like handling everything on your own?
I would say one, get it mastered. That makes a huge difference. Even recording it in the professional studio, the mastering made a huge difference of getting everything even levels. And he tweaked all the EQ, and it was really interesting. It's almost like I compare it to seeing your movie on a big screen, because you're sitting in this room and there's speakers that go up to the ceiling and stuff. Like it's really cool. It's fun. Definitely recommend it. It's not a huge expense. I think it ended up being like $40 a song or something like that. So especially if you're in a band, you can split it, which is nice. I couldn't do that on the solo records. But it was fine. Like once you kind of just get in the trenches, I'm like, I'm paying what I'm paying. Like I showed my girlfriend this. It's super funny. I had a spreadsheet of like keeping track of the costs. Yeah, well, I should have. My spreadsheet goes 2 days, and I just stopped doing it. I'm just like, at this point, I'm not going to not do something. So I'm just like, I should have, because I'd be curious to see how much I actually spent, but I probably would rather not know. Doing it yourself, I would say, I think through CD Baby, it's $80 to get on Spotify, get on iTunes, everything. It adds a legitimacy to it that's huge. Things can just get found on Spotify, which helps. People can put it on playlists. Like a couple people have put my songs on running playlists, and I just get like continuous listens from that because they work out. So like, it's nice. Yeah, like it's super cool. But other than that, you don't need to pay for a ton of stuff. Like buy a domain and just do a Wix website and just figure out how to make it. And like you can figure out how to link it. But like I just spent like a day figuring out the Wix website. It was really fun. It's super intuitive.
Yeah, it's more like a drag and drop.
Yeah.
You can put together the Facebook. You can probably put together.
Exactly, yeah. So it's cool. And then they have a bunch of templates you can use. Also get professional pictures. That definitely helps. Yeah, and like I said before, I don't even think it's not anything I've done. It's not that the songs are good. It's not that I'm the best singer. It's not that I write the best harmonies or anything like that. It's that it sounds good. As long as it's good enough that even if someone doesn't like the song, it sounds professional, that'll sell it. And professional photos help that too. So having a good professional sounding product definitely helps a lot. And then just like doing it yourself and finding stuff, and it's super fun. It's easy. And start out with just like weekend things around your area for sure. Like we went down to ISU in Bloomington, and then we went to Springfield, and then we came home. Then we went to Iowa City, then we went to Lincoln, and then we came home. And then like I did Milwaukee on a Thursday because it's an hour and a half away from Chicago. Things like that definitely help because you can find places to stay too. Like I always stay at a hotel just because I'm older and I want to stay at a hotel. But I get offered to stay at people's houses all the time, and if I was doing a long tour and paying for everything up front, I probably would stay at people's houses. But doing weekends is way more cost effective. Do one a month, and when you're going to these little places, the hotels are cheaper and stuff. And you'll be surprised. Don't expect to make money, but if there is any money to be made, usually people, if it's not a ton, they'll just give it all to the touring person. So that'll cover your gas and stuff like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After recording this, are you working on another project right now? Another album?
I am. I think I'm going to move away from full albums. I'm super proud of having the full album with the context and kind of the story. But looking at the metrics of it, like the first 3 songs have like 20 times more listens than the bottom 5 songs.
Scarcity for attention.
It just completely drops off with it, which is fine. I probably would be the same way, unless it's an artist I already knew. But like a new artist listen to a few songs, and like they have a lot of they there's a good amount of attention to it, so it's cool that people definitely listen to it. But there's a huge drop off from there. So maybe doing smaller releases. I also want to maybe do more splits, like get people who don't share the same audience, and then each of you do 2 songs and putting it together. I think that's a great way to get out there. So things like that, maybe shorter things. I don't have as many giant things to say now. I don't have like a giant breakup I'm trying to complain about.
I'm in a good place.
Yeah, so like I want to write some happier songs. So I'd like to do maybe like a split or a 7-inch or something like that. I'd love to do a vinyl if I can get it to be cost effective. So yeah, so I want to do something like that, and then do the music video and things like that too. And then probably some more touring stuff in the summer.
That's awesome, man. I'm really glad for you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
And I remember your mom telling ghost stories at the table on Christmas. I miss being part of your family. Could have sworn we were perfect.
I was thinking, this is completely off topic, but like in the realm of pop punk, there's very few women voices. There's very few any minority voices, and I can't think of a single minority woman voice in the scene, and I'm probably missing some people, but like we need different voices.
Well, at least within the Chicagoland area, it's been like someone hurt me.
Yeah.
And I was in high school, and that's been like the pop punk scene.
Yeah, I mean
for at least the last 5 years.
The big bands, Fall Out Boy, Academy is, Plain White Tees, all straight white dudes.
Yeah.
Like Rise Against, bands that got popular. Even before that, Smashing Pumpkins. I guess we had Liz Phair, but still.